Today's video is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Go to combat, attack our opponent. Oh, well, we gotta try it. Heartfire you? I mean, either we win or lose here. Labyrinth Raptor. Heartfire you? Sack the dinosaur? Oh, it worked! It worked! Wow, we burned him out. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Budget Magic. And this week, we are heading to post-banning, post-companion nerfing standard to play a deck built around the best mechanic in the history of Magic, which is Menace. But actually, if you know my history of Menace, I have spent the last several years since Menace became a mechanic making fun of Menace for being a pretty useless mechanic. That's partly because I don't play that many aggro decks, partly because it does feel like kinda useless. However, thanks to Ikoria, there's actually a reason to play a bunch of Menace creatures together. So we are playing Rakdos Menace, hard to block our stuff, aggro deck, and gonna see how it goes in our new post-banning format. So let's talk about the deck, jump into the game, starting with the reasons to play Menace Tribal, which is two cards from Ikoria. First off, Labyrinth Raptor gives us a menacing 2-drop that forces our opponent to sacrifice creatures if they block our Menace creatures, and most importantly, for 2 mana, pumps all of our Menace creatures +1/+0. So if we can go wide with Menace creatures, which again, already are hard to block because our opponent has to put 2 blockers in front of each creature, we could just get up to 4 mana or 6 mana, pump with Labyrinth Raptor, and potentially kill our opponent with one big hard to block attack. Speaking of hard to block, our other big payoff for Menace, Sonorous Hellbonder, is making it even harder for our opponent to block. Putting 2 creatures in front of each of our attackers is already difficult for some decks. On the other hand, if we have Hellbonder out, our opponent needs to block each of our Menace creatures with 3 creatures, which is almost impossible. It's very close to making our team unblockable. So if we can, like, 1-drop Menace creature, Labyrinth Raptor, Hellbonder, into pumping Labyrinth Raptor, that is a ton of damage that's really difficult for our opponent to block. To back up our payoffs, we have the best Menace creatures we could find, which means some of them are good, some of them are not as good. Haunted Nightmare are actually pretty sweet in this deck. I don't like this card in general because you play it and then you give your opponent's creature Death Touch and then they can block and kill it with a small creature. On the other hand, because our entire deck is built around Menace, and even Mega Menace with Hellbonder, giving 1 creature Death Touch is usually not the end of the world. It's still so difficult for our opponent to block, and we get a 4/5 for 3, which is way above the curve. Otherwise, Grim Dancer, kind of like our ground Vampire Nighthawk, getting Lifelink and then usually Menace, but we can also go Death Touch and Menace if we gotta play defense. Then we have our 2-drop Menace creatures. Stormfist Crusaders, actually great. 2/2 Menace for 2, solid, making everyone draw a card and lose a life on our upkeep. Also solid, direct damage, keeping our handful of Menace creatures. On the other hand, Rakdos Trumpeter, one of the worst cards I have ever played in a deck. Just a 2 mana 1/3 with Menace that can pump itself for a massive 4 mana. It's basically curve filler. We need more 2-drops. There's not that many Menace creatures, so it finds itself in our deck in small numbers for that reason. Otherwise, 1-drop, we have Dread Moleken, which doesn't look exciting as a 1 mana 1/1 with Menace, but it can pay 3 mana to sack a creature to grow with 2 +1/+1 counters, which kind of brings us to the second part of our deck, our removal plan. So in our deck, our removal plan isn't so much to kill our opponent's creatures, at least directly. We have Dread Moleken and Heartfire as sacrifice outlets, and Heartfire also a good finisher, 4 damage to the face potentially, or to a creature if we need to. And then we have Claim the Firstborn in Tentative Connection, another Menace payoff, a threat effect that is a single mana to snag any creature, untap it, give it haste, as long as we have something with Menace. So the idea is, rather than killing our opponent's creatures outright, if our opponent plays blockers, we can steal them for the turn with Claim the Firstborn Tentative Connection for 1 mana, swing in with everything. Our opponent's going to be down a blocker, so they probably are going to have even a harder time blocking our Menace creatures. And then, best case, we can sacrifice the creature we steal to Heartfire or to Dread Moleken to get rid of it forever anyway. So that's the plan of our deck. Play Menace creatures, attack, make it hard for our opponent to block, maybe steal some creatures, beat it out quickly before our opponent can find their, like, powerful late game stuff and Wrath to make our game plan a little bit trickier. Mana base wise, this is where the cost of the deck comes in. If you discount the mana, our deck is, I think, 12 rares and like $30 in paper, but because of Blood Crypt and the rest of our mana, just to cast our spells, it's like 25 rares and like $90 in paper. As far as the sideboard, this is the other key easy part of the deck. So I mentioned our main plan in game 1, we have ways to steal our opponent's creatures, actually 8 ways to steal our opponent's creatures. We claim the firstborn and tentative connection. The problem is, if we run into a control deck, and our opponent doesn't have creatures to steal, those cards are basically dead. So we have 8 discard spells, and Duress and Agonizing Remorse in the sideboard. So the idea is when we run into Esper or Blue-White or Wilderness Reclamation, we take out basically all of our creature stealing cards, bring in all of our discard stuff, and hopefully pick apart our opponent's hand long enough that we can beat down with our menace creatures and win. Phyrexian Libation, way to get rid of Wilderness Reclamation, and can get rid of like Dream Trawler, other hard to deal with creatures, Scorching Dragonfire for aggro, Shieldbreaker for artifacts, and that is Rakdos Menace for post-banning, post-companion nerfing, Ikoria Standard 2.0, and that's our budget magic deck for this week. So let's jump into some games, see if Menace is maybe better than I gave it credit for. We'll see. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you all enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit with a wrap-up. Looking for some new Core Set 2021 cards? Well, you can get them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom. Card Kingdom has Core Set 2021 up for pre-sale now, and you can check it out over at cardkingdom.com. All right, budget magic time. We are menacing in Standard. Rakdos Menace. Oh, Yarion. All right, so apparently, companions still a thing. Dreadmaw can go. Well, at least we don't got to worry about Agent of Treachery. Opponent plays in Agonizing Remorse. Okay, sure. Gonna need a Castle Lockwain eventually, I think. Some way to draw cards to keep up with this control deck. I will say, main deck, we're not super set up to fight control decks, in all honesty. Sideboard, things get a lot better. Sideboard, we can bring in discard over all of our creature stealing stuff, but our creature stealing stuff is pretty meh. Stormfist Crusader is a pretty good draw if it sticks. We'll see if it sticks. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Alright, so this fizzles our extra draw, but our opponent still gets to extra draw. Gets a counter. Ugh, we draw Claim the Firstborn, which is not super helpful. Well, kill the Narset. Oh, I can't believe we just let our opponent draw an extra card for literally no value. Also, our hand, ugh, this is not good. Plains for our opponent. And Oath of Kaya, so there goes our Crusader. Well, Grim Dancer. Death Touch and Life... Death... No. Menace and Lifelink. Go attacking. Yeah, this is gonna be tough, because now they can put Yarion in their hand and blink the Oath of Kaya. Yeah, this is the way our deck is built. We're gonna have a rough go of it against control in game 1 because we have all these Claim the Firstborns and so forth. On the other hand, once we can replace those with discard, things should get better. Well, go attacking. Play this Howlbonder. Absorb away, opponent. Absorb away. No absorb. Huh. So opponent just did nothing? That is a strange choice. Okay, so they had the Wrath the whole time. Well, yes. So we're just going to concede. They can Yarion kill our next threat, and then there's no way we actually win. So, good news is, we get Duresses and Agonizing Remorses. We get to go down all of our creature stealing stuff and run it back. So yeah, that is a risk you take when you play a bunch of threat and effects. If you run into the creature-free control deck, life is super bad. On the other hand, when we run into creature decks, life is super good. So let's see if our sideboard plan will be enough to save us. Alright, we'll keep this. This hand is medium. Stormfist Crusader is really good though. And we do have Castle Lockwain, which is one of the cards we want to see most in this matchup. Well, Dreadmaw, go. Opponent. Tap land. Play land. Stormfist Crusader. Go attacking. Would be nice to draw into some discard to deal with Wraths. Untap land. Thought Erasure. Alright, well our hand's not really doing much, so that's fine. Yeah, takes one of our Menace Dorks. Come on, discard. All the Dreadmawkins. Well, play a land. Play Hunted Nightmare. Go attacking. Hit our opponent. Oh, we needed to rest. We needed to rest because the Wrath could be coming. Opponent. Island. Oath of Kaya. Kill Stormfist Crusader. Well, there's Agonizing Remorse. Target our opponent. Take Omen of the Sea. Well, now I kind of like where we're at. Play the land. Dreadmawkin. Dreadmawkin. Can Dreadmawkin Tron take down the control deck? Opponent down to 11. Their hand does nothing. Scryland. They gotta find a Wrath and they gotta find it quick to the bottom. That's good news. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll go to combat. Attack. Opponent goes to 4. Pass the turn. Come on, no top deck Wrath. Anything but a top deck Wrath. Opponent. Whoo! Scoops it up. All right, so sideboard plan, somewhat effective. At least we didn't have so many dead cards. Run it back, run it back. Gonna be on the draw this game. I mean, we have a pretty fast clock. A clock that seems fast enough to race, hopefully, backed by 8 discard spells. All right. Sounds not bad. We can duress into Stormfist, hopefully. All right. Blood Crypt, untapped. Duress you. Take Cry. Opponent needs 2 black sources to Wrath. Oh my goodness. We're really good at drawing Dreadmawkins. Even though Dreadmawkin is not an especially helpful card. Island for our opponent. Teferi's a good draw for our opponent. Bounces draws. Yeah, this is looking a little tough. Oh, Crusader returns. Play a Mountain. Ugh, clunky manas. Opponent. Takes up Teferi.
I've got it.
Black source number 1. Well, we each get to draw. Black source is fine. Play a land. Go to combat. Attack Teferi.
It's only a matter of time.
Play Dreadmawkin. Pass the turn. Ugh. All right, so opponent's gonna find their Wrath mana. Yeah. Well, 80 cards ain't no thing in a Yarion deck. Opponent scrying away. 1 to the top. Well, I would bet you that's a black source. We'll find out momentarily. Okay, white source. Opponent passes. Boy, we'd love a Castle Lockwane. We each get to draw. Temple of Malice. Scry. Well, we'll keep the duress. Go to combat. Attack you. Heartless Act. Well, that's Heartfire. Okay, opponent counters. Well, we will duress. Take the... I'll take the Wrath. Pass the turn. Plains for our opponent. Well, duress our opponent. There's the counter. Labyrinth Raptor. Go attacking. Yeah, so we've managed to duress 2 Wraths, but our opponent has managed to draw 3 Wraths, which is a little on the awkward side. It leaves the card on top. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that our opponent's just drawing more Wraths than we can draw discard spells for. Opponent, pass it. Now go to combat. Attack you. Pump. Pump. Opponent goes to 12. Pass the turn. I'm surprised our opponent is not putting Yarion in their hand. All right, there's the Shatter of this guy. Sure. And a land. Well, play Dreadmawkin. Play Labyrinth Raptor. All right, opponent drew another counter, but we have officially run our opponent out of cards. Labyrinth Raptor. Pass the turn. Through 3 Wraths. What does our opponent find? It's just a Scry land. Okay. To the bottom. So we can get Yarion, but we're Menace Tribal. So Yarion can't actually block very effectively. Opponent passes. Play Dreadmawkin. Go to combat. Attack. Pump. Opponent goes to 10. Labyrinth Raptor. Come on. No Wrath off the top. No Wrath off the top. Menace? Menace? Taking out the Planeswalkers? Whoo! Through the Wraths. Through the infinite Wraths. That was that was a good Menace game. Well, our sideboard plan worked. We got blown out in game 1, predictably. That's going to happen against Control. But bringing in discard spells was enough to beat the triple Wrath draw, which is pretty good. Pretty good for our Our little budget aggro deck. Alright, sweet, sweet. Alright, budget magic time. We are menacing around in post-ban standard. Menace Tribal, and yeah, this end actually looks pretty reasonable. I mean, that is a menace curve, if I've ever seen one. You know when you got Dreadmawkin as your 1-drop, you know you are dedicated to the menace cause. I wonder if Dreadmawkin's the worst 1-drop I've played. It might be. It's gotta at least be on the list. I mean, it's not that bad, but it's definitely not good. Alright, looks like control. Well, let's scry. So the main question is going to be, how much do we overextend into a potential Wrath? And I think the answer is, since we have this Castle Aquane, we should probably keep dumping our hand for the most part. Narset. It's an annoying card. Shatter this guy. That's not ideal. Well, attack Narset.
How much commotion.
Scry. We're gonna keep Stormfist, although it's a little risky because we need this Narset to be gone. Opponent, are they gonna Wrath to keep the Narset? I mean, Narset doesn't seem, the static ability probably doesn't seem great against our deck, but it kind of is annoying. So this is a matchup where our main deck's going to be a smidge on the clunky side, because we have all this creature stealing stuff that doesn't really do anything. Opponent bounces Dreadmawkin, draws a card. Well, go to combat. Kill Teferi. Play... Yeah, I think we got to make our opponent do something. Play Haunted Nightmare. Play a Mountain. Not going to replay the Dreadmawkin yet. Plans for our opponent. And are we Wrathing? We are Wrathing. We do get to draw a card, which is good. So we will Dreadmawkin. Grim Dancer. Lifelink Menace. Castle Aquane. Dreadmawkin. Go. I mean, we made it through the first Wrath with a pretty good hand of creatures. If there's a second one, it's going to get harder. Okay, Birth. We don't care too much about Birth because everything has Menace. We do care about a second Wrath. All right, another Narset.
If you wish to surrender now.
So opponent's going to go digging for a Wrath. Meditate. Whoa, is that a... Oh, I thought it was a whiff. They do hit the Wrath. Well, go to combat. Narset. Opponent just has a handful of Wraths. Narset, opponent.
I shall miss you.
Play Dreadmawkin. Pass the turn. Well, I mean, opponent's just got all the Wraths in the world. Scryland. So we got to make our opponent spend them at some point. All right, there's another one. Well, draw a card. Spend a bit of life. Oh, wait, was that a bug? They only have one Wrath? Oh, interesting. Another Birth. Okay. Why were there two? Oh, there's definitely a bug going on. What is... I don't know. Well, Stormfist Crusader. Hellbonder. Scryland. Yeah, we'll keep... Oh, Labyrinth Raptor. Pass the turn. There's definitely a visual bug where one card is showing up as two cards. Oh, that actually... Oh, dear. Dream Trawler. Okay, so that's bad. Bad news. How do we beat a Dream Trawler? Well, play Labyrinth Raptor. Play Hellbonder. Go attacking. I mean, our opponent can't block, but can we race a Dream Trawler? We have super duper ultra. If our opponent blocks it, opponent needs 3 creatures to block our stuff, and if they block, they have to sacrifice a creature. The problem is the Dream Trawler is just really insane. Opponent gets into a Dream Trawler. So I think what we have to do is just pressure enough that our opponent's gonna have to Wrath, as unfortunate as that is. Scryland. So that's 1 planes in hand, even though Arena showing 2 at the moment. To the top. Ew. Banishing Light. Hitting the Crusader. Well, play the Swamp. Play Howlbounder. Go to combat, attack. Pump. Opponent makes a 1/1, doesn't really do anything. Well, we'll see. This Dream Trawler. I mean, our clock is great, but this Dream Trawler is gaining a lot of life. Opponent grows a Dream Trawler, so gaining 5 to 14. If they ever run out of cards, we can steal the Dream Trawler, but that seems unlikely. Opponent up to 8. We go to 8. Opponent goes up to 14. And opponent does have a Wrath. Oh my goodness. Alright, and that does do it. Okay, so I mean, opponent drew 3 Wraths and 2 Dream Trawlers. That is the long and short of it. There's not really anything else to say other than opponent drew a lot of Wraths and a lot of Dream Trawlers. Well, we will bring in our control package. All the discard. We'll also bring in Libation. Not guaranteed way to get rid of a Dream Trawler, but it is a potential way to get rid of a Dream Trawler. All right, we get to play first. And, well, we'll keep this. This hand is medium. We'd love to hit a swamp, I think. Oh, Castle Lockway. Yeah, we're going to go bottom. Take the greedy line. We really need an untap land for this Crusader. This is a matchup where we need to curve out and be aggressive to have a shot. Well, that works. Blood Crypt, untapped, Crusader. All right, start the beats. Hopefully draw just some discard to deal with our opponent's seemingly infinite Wraths. Plains for our opponent, passes. Well, draw some cards. Play a swamp, go to combat, attack. And I think we just Grim Dancer. Might as well be efficient. All right, opponent runs out Omen. Definitely going lifelink. We do have this Castle Lockway, and so at some point we're going to spend life. At least we had 2 creatures on the battlefield. We can, I mean, this deck can pour on some damage. And we can pressure Planeswalkers since we have 2 creatures on the battlefield. Lifelink and Menace, of course. Always Menace. Opponent. Island. And, wow, discards the hand size, passes. Alright, well, draw some cards. Go to combat, attack. No discard is a little bit awkward. Okay, Omen of the Sun. Opponent. Double blocks. Yeah, alright. Another Grim Dancer. Lifelink Menace. Blood Crypt, and Goo. Unfortunately, opponent could potentially just Wrath. And that's pretty bad for us. Yeah, alright, opponent passes. Well, go to combat, attack. Opponent takes it to 9. Castle Lockway, go. Alright, more Omens. Opponent goes back to 11. 6, 7, 8. Ugh. Close, opponent. To vary the time, Raveler.
Sorry I'm late.
Going to bounce Grim Dancer. Draw a card.
I got this.
Yeah, untap. Play a mountain. Go to combat. Attack our opponent. Ugh. Oh. Our opponent can't be playing Dovin's Veto against our deck, right? They just can't. They can't? I hope they can't. Alright. Well, we gotta try it. Heartfire you? I mean, either we win or lose here. Labyrinth Raptor? Heartfire you? Sack the dinosaur? Oh, it worked! It worked! Wow, we burned him out. Okay. Well, I mean, that was decent. That was super decent. Whew. All right. Yeah, run it back. So we gotta, I mean, we can compete with these control decks. We didn't draw any discard spells either, which is kind of crazy. Ooh. Yeah, we gotta mulligan that. Mana's too bad. Well, this is worse. We will put a Blood Crypt to the bottom. Yeah, this hand's less than ideal, I would say. Well, Agonizing Remorse is fine. Dreadmaw can go. Start the beatdowns. Tap land. Well, Castle Lockway. If we're going to draw a land, that is a good one. I'll play Labyrinth Raptor. Continue the beatdowns. Opponent down to, all the way down to 19. To very time Raveler.
Let's slow this down.
Bounces Labyrinth Raptor.
Might be a bad idea.
Ugh, more lands. That's not as good. Oh, jeez. Wow. All right. How do we possibly beat this hand? We'll take the Teferi.
My worst defeat.
Yes, this is tough. Definitely do not want mountain number 40. Attack Teferi.
You just let me do.
Yeah, opponent's got double Wrath in hand. Tap land for our opponent passes. Well, we will play a Swamp. Labyrinth Raptor. Go to combat. Attack. Pump. Boom. 17. Look out, opponent. What you gonna do? Omen of the Sea. Well, here comes the Wraths for day. Oh, 2 on top. That's not what we want to see either. Opponent land. Wrath number 1. Shatter the Sky. Oh, we will. Agonizing Remorse. Take Dream Trawler. Dreadmawkin. Blood Crypt. Ugh, Narset though. Tap land. There's the Narset. Gonna go digging for some goodies.
Mind and body should move and hone your prowess.
Opponent. Elspeth conquers stuff. Oh, more lands. More lands is not super good. Well, hit Narset. Unfortunately, our opponent is at a very high life total. Oh no, Teferi off the top.
Right on schedule.
I'll draw a card. More lands. Ooh. Yeah, this is not the way to beat the control deck. Opponent takes down Narset. Another Elspeth conquers death. This is the worst of news. Well, we will play. And our opponent has another Wrath. Well, play Grim Dancer. Lifelink Menace. Dreadmawkin. Temple of Malice. Land definitely to the bottom. We do not lead land. What would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ugh. Yeah. 10, 11, 12. Oh boy. Yeah, we've just kind of had the the flood out draw. Every once in a while, Arena likes to
Let's try this.
likes to give you the flood out draw, and this is one of those games. Well, go to combat. Attack Teferi, attack our opponent. I assume instant speed Wrath is happening. Yeah, that's an instant speed Wrath. Oh, we will Agonizing Remorse. Good God. Oh, opponent's really good at drawing Wraths. Really, really good. Play a land. Draw a card. Yeah, I don't think we can get back from here. Opponent ticks up. Passes. Haunted Nightmare. Opponent makes a 1/1. Well, draw a card. Duress our opponent. Yeah, I think we've just. I think we're to the scoop point. We just can't beat this hand. There's no amount of. There's just no possible way. Yeah, all right. We will scoop it up. Well, we fought the good fight. Our hand was not aggressive enough that game. Losing the die roll definitely makes it a little tougher. We saw in game 2, though, how we can take down that deck. But that game, opponent just had absurd hand. All right. Budget Magic time. We are menacing. Playing the best quote-unquote mechanic in the history of Magic. We're playing Menace Tribal. Rakdos Mega Menace. Super duper ultra menace. Opponent. Going to 6. That sounds fine. Little heavy on lands, but at least we have a Scry land and a Stormfist Crusader. And Castle Lockwing, most importantly. So even though we're land heavy at the moment. Dreadmawkin. I don't actually think we want Dreadmawkin. It's okay on turn 1, but as the game goes along, it gets less good. Opponent looks like blue-white control. Well, let's Stormfist Crusader pass the turn. Apparently, blue-white control is pretty popular post-banning. I feel like I play this every round. Opponent. Passing. Cards for everyone. Well, we will play a land. Haunted Nightmare. I mean, we're going big. We're dropping our fatties. Haunted Nightmare is actually pretty good against control because they don't have any creatures, so there's not much of a downside. So it's just a 4 or 5 menace for 3, which is a pretty good deal. Opponent's gonna cycle, looking for lands. Well, here comes the beatdowns. Well, I guess it's our job to try to close out this game quickly before our opponent draws lands and wraths. Opponent, Fabled Passage. Cracks it, gets a tap land. Play a mountain, go to combat, attack you. Opponent goes to 10, and I think we actually just pass. If our opponent goes White Source Wrath, we can double Heartfire you. Sack Stormfist Crusader. Heartfire you. Sack Haunted Nightmare. Double Heartfire. Down to 2. Untap. Stormfist Crusader. Castle Lockwane. Haunted Nightmare. Do you have another Wrath? Please no. Opponent. Teferi. I don't think Teferi's going to do it, though. And opponent scoops it up. All right, that's what we could do. Don't stumble against Menace. And that was with our bad cards in. Now we get to go down. Claim the Firstborn. Tentative Concoction. We get to go up. Agonizing Remorse. Duress. And possibly Libation. A copy of Libation. I would like to be able to kill Dream Trawler. That is a card I am afraid of. Dream Trawler is a card that we can get in damage, and things can be looking like they're going in our direction, and then Dream Trawler by itself can swing it back in our opponent's favor. So having an answer to it, I think, is worth it. They could also have enchantments. Alright, well, we're going to keep this. Little clunky mana-wise. Blood Crypt would be a sweet draw, or just a Swamp. Mountain. Well, Castle Lockwane go. Yeah, all the tap lands. Bone it. Untap land. Let's Duress. Wow, opponent brought in vetoes. I guess they're pretty scared of those Heartfires, apparently. Hellbonder's gonna go bottom for now. Not aggressive enough. Opponent plays a land and a Narset. And that is annoying. Narset gonna tick down. Resolving that Duress would have been nice. Play a Mountain. Agonizing Remorse. Oh, jeez. Take Gadwick, I guess. Dreadmawkin. Ooh, yeah, I don't especially like where we're at the moment. I can't believe they brought in... I can't believe our opponent brought in, wow, so many Wraths. I can't believe they brought in Dovin's Veto. Dovin's Veto does not feel good to me against our deck, but opponent passes. I'll play the Swamp, go to combat, kill Narset. So opponent has a literal pile of Wraths. What do we do? Yeah, play Dreadmawkin. Alright, there's an Omen. Sure. Yeah, this is looking tough. Opponent got double value out of that Narset and just has so many Wraths. One on top. Well, pass the turn. There's a tough line between developing our board and just, like, playing into this Wrath. Opponent gains a life. Passes. Temple of Malice. Scry. Do not need a Swamp. I'll go to combat. Attack. Opponent goes to 17. Scries. Okay. 1 to the top. Scry land. Well, we are going to start drawing cards now. Opponent passes. Well, draw a card. Castle Embreth. Go to combat. Attack. And we will start pumping. Opponent down to 13 temporarily. I mean, eventually we're going to force them to wrath these 2 Dreadmawkins. That's our goal, at least. Opponent going to scry again. Oh, we've drawn a lot of lands. Drawing 2 lands this past turn was not great. But go. 2 to the top. Oh, dear. All right. 2 to the top. Opponent plays a land. Yeah, I mean, we might as well Heartfire you. Opponent lets it go. Kills the Dreadmawkin. Play Grim Dancer. Lifelink and Menace. Castle Lockwane, go. Unfortunately, Grim Dancer can get Elspeth Conqueror's deathed. Yeah. Alright, there's Elspeth Conqueror's death. So that's going to eventually get back a Narset. Well, Castle Lockwane. Play Labyrinth Raptor. Okay. To the bottom. Hunted Nightmare. Swamp past the turn. Opponent takes up Elspeth Conqueror's death. Up to 10. Is it time for Wrath number million? It is. Alright, so there's a Wrath. Opponent passes. Well, play Stormfist Crusader. Haunted Nightmare. Pass the turn. So our opponent gets to get back Narset and take it down. The question's going to be, do they hit yet another Wrath? Opponent untaps. Gets back in Narset. Well, do they have Wrath number 3? Or 4? Or 14?
Meditate and prepare.
Narset. Okay, Absorb. That's better than a Wrath. Teferi. Going to bounce Haunted Nightmare. Draw a card. Plays a land. And passes. Well, draw some cards. More lands. And we don't even get to draw the extra card. That's bad. Oh, this isn't good. The Planeswalker stacks are rough. Oh, no! Oh, no. I'll play Haunted Nightmare. It gets absorbed. Yeah. Well, I think our opponents got us this time. They have successfully stacked up enough Planeswalkers that they have gained control of the game, and we are not going to be able to get back into it from this point, I don't think. We can't even pressure the Planeswalkers next turn. Opponent gets another Teferi. I don't know if I'm happy that my initial impression of post-ban Standard is it's basically all Planeswalker decks again. I don't know if that's an improvement over Agent of Treachery decks, honestly. I don't know if that actually is making anything better. Well, we will play some cards. We will pass the turn. I mean, we fought a good fight this game, but our opponent just managed to stick enough Planeswalkers that we can't really... Once it gets to this part of the game, it's really difficult for our deck to compete, even with the Castle Lockwains. If we're going to win, we gotta win quicker than this. Once our opponent's activating multiple Planeswalkers a turn, scrying every... Alright. Instant Speed, Shatter the Sky, Wrath number 14 or something. We will skip that one up. Well, run it back. This game we get to be on the play, which is better than being on the draw. And really, the infinite control matches I've been playing against, our deck feels competitive. I don't know if I would say it's a good matchup. It's definitely annoying when opponents have roughly infinite Wraths and infinite Planeswalkers, but I feel like our deck is competitive-ish. Oh, Castle Lockwain go. These Castle Lockwains, we really want one. We would rather, though, not have all of them. Stormfist Crusader, go. Opponent plays a tap land. Cards are drawn. Well, go to combat, attack. Hit our opponent. Agonizing Remorse our opponent. Take Teferi.
We will meet again.
Tap land, pass the turn. Yeah, we'll see. So opponent's got the control hand, of course. Well, maybe. Opponent plays a tap land. Cracks the tap land. So we can get rid of this Shatter the Sky. Are we going to be able to beat a Dream Trawler? Stormfist, triggers, cards are drawn. Play a Swamp, go to combat, attack. Hit our opponent down to 15. Duress our opponent. We will take Shatter the Sky. Dreadmawkin. Labyrinth Raptor. Go. Well, we'll see what our opponent finds. We know there's an Aether Gust, which can slow us down for a turn. Alright, gonna Aether Gust the Raptor. Do we even want to keep it? I think we decline. I think we'd rather hit more discard, honestly. Agonizing Remorse to get rid of this Dream Trawler would be optimal. Opponent, tap land. Has Absorb mana. Cards are drawn. Well, go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Play Duress. Opponent counters. Play Stormfist Crusader. Temple Malice. Castle Embereth to the bottom. Okay. Oh, please tell me you didn't draw into a Wrath off of our Stormfist. Planes. And opponent's passing. All right, 2 cards drawn for both of us. Play a land. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent. Down to 7. Pass the turn. Omen of the Sea. Alright, so opponent's looking for a Wrath. If they don't find a Wrath, they're dead. Even through the Dream Trawler, because Menace, of all things, we can menace our way past it. 2 to the bottom. Well, I mean, this is it. This is the moment. Opponent. Another Omen of the Sea. Oh, they're really looking for this Wrath. The other possibility is we could get them with like a combination of finding another heart. Oh, one to the top. All right, so opponent finds the Wrath, untaps, Island, Dream Trawler. Oh, that's game. That's game and a half. Easy, 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 easy game. Wow, they went on the Dream Trawler plan. Menace! Menace for the win! Opponent. Oh, we got it. We got it 100%. We'll draw a card. We will untap. I mean, we don't even got to do anything. Draw a card, draw a card. And our opponent can't block because our team has Menace. The worst mechanic doing the best things. Draw, draw, draw. Play Howlbounder just to make it extra menacey. Untap land. Go to combat. Attack for 5. And we got him. Menace the control deck. All right. All right, all right. That went pretty sweet. Surprisingly sweet. Well, Menace is a mechanic that I tend to make fun of, but sometimes it's good, and that was a case where it was really good. Huh. Well, sweet, sweet. Take that to Fairy. Take that Dream Trawler. Menace. But Menace. All right. Budget Magic time. We are playing the best mechanic in the history of Magic, which is Menace, of course, and also mulliganing, because our mana, not ideal. Okay, well, go Stormfist Crusaders. This is going to be interesting. We'll put a... Actually, let's keep Claim the Firstborn. Put a land to the bottom. All right, well, let's see what happens. That is Stormfist Tron. I don't know if this is the best or the worst thing that's happened to us. Put it. Well, play a land. Stormfist Crusader. Go. Booted. Untap land. Omen of the Sea. 2 to the top. Well, draw a card, ping. Wow, and we whiff on lands. Well, Stormfist number 2 go attacking. Opponent down to 15. And, yeah, not a great time to miss land drops. Well, there's going to be lots of cards for everyone until our board gets Wrath. Opponent plays a Scry land. To the top. Well, draw some cards. Well, we did finally hit a land. Well, go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Yeah, let's Trumpeter. Scryland. Swamp to the bottom, past the turn. Does our opponent have a Wrath? That is the first question. I mean, they have drawn a ton of extra cards thanks to us, so... Seems like there's a reasonable chance they're going to be wrathing, but we'll find out. Oh, fort. Interesting. I don't know what our opponent's doing. Growth Spiral. Okay. Puts a mountain into play. Omen of the Sun. Well, ping ping. Draw some cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh. Well, let's Howlbounder. Go attacking. Opponent goes to 4. Swamp and Dreadmaw in. I mean, our opponent could still have a Wrath. Although this Claim the Firstborn can be a sneaky haste granter. Plenty out opponent. Blades. I mean, opponent needs a Wrath. If they don't have a Wrath, they're in trouble. Everything has Mega Menace. Opponents draw so many cards from our Stormfist. I don't know what they're doing if they're not... Like, if... What's in their deck if they're not wrathing our board? Like, what is going on? Oh. Calyx, okay.
Foolish mortals have unbalanced...
Oh, we should be good then. If all our opponent has is Calyx. Uh-huh. Gets rid of Hellbounder, sure.
A punishment befitting of the crime.
Isn't our opponent still just super dead, though? Birth, uh-huh. Yeah. So opponent's playing, like, 4-color Enchantress? That's interesting. Not a typical control deck. I mean, our opponent's super dead. I'm, like, not even sure why they're doing any of this. Well, draw a card, draw a card. Go to combat, attack our opponent. And, that's pretty lethal. Opponent can only block one thing because we have Menace. It's always fun when a mechanic that is normally not very good is actually super relevant. Well, that was surprisingly easy, I will say. Huh. Well, I think we're going to go control mode. Go down, at least for game 2. Go down Concoctions, go down Claim the Firstborn, go up Duresses, go up Agonizing Remorses and just run it like that. All right, on to game number 2 against 4-color Enchantress, I guess? I'm still not exactly sure. Our opponent had so many cards in hand, but did so little. Yeah, all right, we'll keep this. We got Menace Creatures and Duress. I don't know about these Heartfires. We'll see how good they end up being. Castle Lockwain's decent. Now let's Dreadmaw in. Go. I think we wait and try Duress on turn 3. That would be the turn before a Wrath could come down. All right, opponent plays Birth. Snags a land. Blood Crypt and Labyrinth Raptor. Good image. Down to 19. So yeah, this is a turn where we need to Duress. Untap land. Omen of the Forge. Ew. Alright. Well, that's kind of a bummer. Ooh. Alright, go to combat. Attack. If our opponent... Oh, they could have Calyx, though. Ugh. What do we do here? So opponent plays Calyx. Ticks down. Calyx has, what, 4 loyalty and goes to 1 if it ticks down? Alright. Yeah, we're going to keep waiting. I don't think our opponent would Omen of the Forge if they had a Wrath. In Calyx, at least if they do Calyx, we just get to kill it with Dreadmaw, and then we can still Duress. That's not great, but it's okay. And now we have a 4/5 Menace. And this Castle Lockwain's a great draw. Card draw is definitely helpful. Alright, Grow Spirals. Tap land. And tap land. Well, now we'll Duress. Take Shark Typhoon. Play a Swamp. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent down to 13 past the turn. Yeah, opponent is on a pretty interesting brew. Plays a Plains. I have never seen whatever deck our opponent's playing. 4-color Spellslinger, maybe? 4-color... I don't know. I don't know what's going on. There's a Saheeli.
My creations are things of beauty.
And... Wow, just Scries. Whew. If we go face 4/5... If we draw a red source, I think we just win with these Heartfires. 2 to the bottom. Opponent. Passing. Come on! Duress. Well, let's Duress. Opponent's got nothing. Hit our opponent. Yeah, I mean, I think this is still fine. We probably just have to do it over the course of 2 turns. Pass the turn. Opponent get 1 draw, and it's got to be a Wrath. And even if it is a Wrath, I'm not sure it saves our opponent. Opponent passing. Well, Heartfire, sack Dreadmawkin. Yeah, it is pretty good here. Untap. There's our red source. Go to combat. Well, now we just attack. Get our opponent to tap out. And then after our opponent taps out... Yeah, kill the wall, I guess. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go for it. Whew! Alright. Well, that went pretty well. Opponent was on a interesting deck, and we managed to just menace them pretty convincingly, I would say. Yeah, alright, menace. Sweet, sweet. Alright, budget magic time. We are menacing our way through Standard. Post-ban, post-companion change Standard. Let's see what our menacing hand looks like. Well, alright. No red mana, but apart from that, this hand's fine. We got 1-drop, decent 3-drop. I mean, obviously in a perfect roll, we just draw an untap red source and Labyrinth Raptor and go to town. Don't it? Untap red source. Well, alright. At least Hellbonder can be cast without red mana. Get in for 1. Still can't believe we're playing Dreadmawkin, but it's actually decent. It's decent in this deck at least. Bout it. Ooh, Forest. Alright. Oh, Teamer Wreck. Ugh. This is going to be rough in game 1. Hunted Nightmare. In game 2, we might have a chance because we get to bring in... We get to go down all these creature stealing effects and go up... a bunch of... Oh boy, if our opponent misses land drops, we have a shot. Uro. Well, I guess Uro's actually a good stealing target. Alright, Howlbonder. We could use red mana. Get in, hit ya. Down to 14. Red mana. We need red mana. You know they're going to find that land. And then they're going to Wilderness Wreck. Grow Spiral. Not a land. Oh boy, if we get to steal game 1 and then bring in 8 discard spells, I'm going to be thrilled. Oh. Well, we are running almost as awkwardly as our opponent. Down to 7. We're technically presenting lethal. Come on, one more whiff, one more whiff, one more whiff. Uro. All right. Keeps our opponent alive. Fides the lad. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's no way we can get lethal here. There's our red source. Yeah, go to combat, attack. Opponent. Down to 3. Crusader. All right, we'll see. We're actually hoping our opponent goes on the Uro plan. If our opponent goes on the Uro plan, then we're in pretty great shape. Because we just steal it and win. Well, they're not going on the Uro plan. We beat a Storm's Wrath with Hunted Nightmare. Okay, they just cast Uro. Wow, I think we're going to win this. This looks pretty lethal to me. Well, stealing game 1... Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is pretty miraculous. Okay, so somehow, some way, we drew... we drew all the dead claim the first boards and tentative connections, and we were still able to pick up the win because our opponent stumbled on mana. Wow. All right, so now, Duress in, Agonizing Remorse in, Farika's Libation in. Howlbounder's not that exciting. Maybe we keep... do we want to keep anything? Do we want to keep anything to steal Uros? Or do we just... Let's just go down them all. Let's just go full on aggro. Run it like that. Okay. I mean, this is fine. Discard. Creatures. A little bit of reach. Blood Crypt. Tapped. I wonder, since we're on the draw, we might have to just Remorse this turn, because they could grow Spiral Wilderness Rack, and Wilderness Rack is the card we're most scared of. Untap land. Yeah, let's take the turn off. Agonizing Remorse. There's a Grow Spiral. Alright, opponent's not missing lands this time. Essence Scatter, Shark Typhoon. Flame Sweep, Expansion Explosion. All these cards are good against us. Well, I guess we gotta take the Flame Sweep. Alright. Oh dear. Oh dear. Alright, Wilderness Wreck off the top. Well, Howlbounder. Yeah, this is looking much worse. Yeah, now it's just... Yeah, that Wilder... Oh, what a draw. Well, that is... 1, 2, 3, 4. So opponent can draw... Oh, infinite. All right, so we will scoop it up. All right, so that went according to plan. The problem is our opponent top decked... let's even claim the firstborn. The problem is our opponent top decked the Wilderness Reclamation the turn after we had our discard spell, which is pretty unfortunate timing. That's how it lined up. Alright, we're going to keep this in trust that we hit lands. Like, the good news is, we have this Libation, so we can deal with an enchantment, surprisingly. We really need a red source. Like, Blood Crypt would be great, Mountain would be great, or more Dread Mawkins. Alright, so this is looking less great. Get in, hit ya. Alright. Well, this was a risk of keeping this hand. Blast Zone. Opponent passes. Alright, that's better. Land untapped, Hunted Nightmare. Go tagging. Well, we have a clock, and our opponent's mana looking clunky. That's not Grow Spiral mana. Wow, Desperation Cycling. Alright. Sure. Does our opponent find a land? They do. It's tapped, but it is a land. No, play the land, go to combat, attack. Pass the turn. I think we just leave up Libation in case they tap out for Wilderness Wreck. Alright, there's Wilderness Wreck. That's fine. You sacrifice an enchantment. Ooh, sideboard. Sideboard tech. That was key. Opponent passes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll play Temple Scry. Keep Labyrinth Raptor. 4. Yeah, go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent to 4. Pass the turn. What do they got? Another Blast Zone. And... Oh, Grow Spiral. That feels like desperation. Untap land to 2. Chemist's Insight. Got there. Whoo, we got there. Wow. All right. Our sideboard plan worked. I don't think... I mean, obviously, it is it is awkward that our Rakdos deck can take down an enchantment, but we're not above playing Farika's Libation and blowing out Wilderness Reclamation. As much as I hate the the color pie breaking of that card. Well, alright, sweet. Maybe this deck's actually good. So what do we learn this week about Rakdos Menace in MTG Standard 2.0? And overall, the deck performed really well. We went 4-1, technically 4-2. So we played a million control decks in a row. Eventually, after playing so many in a row, next time I saw a control deck, I just scooped. So technically that's a loss, but it was like on turn 3 or something of game 1. I was just like, no, I'm not doing this again. Let's see if we can find another matchup. So the deck actually felt surprisingly competitive. The most exciting and impressive part is when I built this deck and put in the tentative connections, put in the Claim the Firstborns, I thought, okay, so if we play control, it's probably going to be rough in game 1. We can bring in the discard in game 2, but we played control again and again, and we were able to consistently compete with control, even with those dead cards, or mostly dead cards, in our main deck in game 1. So the plan actually worked really well. The deck is weird. We're playing a lot of creatures that they feel awkward, but this is one of those aggro decks where, in some ways, the whole is more powerful than the sum of the parts. Like Dreadmalkin or Rakdos Trumpeter, even Grim Dancer are kind of on the fringes in terms of how playable they really are in a format like Standard. But if you have Labyrinth Raptor to pump them and have Howlbonder to make them unblockable, then they actually become really legitimate threats. So in general, I don't know. Rakdos Menace, it seems pretty competitive. On Magic Arena in specific, and I guess it's the same for paper, the only thing that makes a deck sort of expensive is the mana. If you already have the mana base, this deck is super cheap to put together. It's like 25 bucks in paper. On Magic Arena, it's like 12 rares, I think, in the whole deck outside of the mana base. So if you already got your lands, you can throw it together really cheaply, really easily, and it is actually surprisingly competitive. So, I mean, lots of control, but apparently Rakdos Menace, of all things, was up for the challenge. So anyway, that's been Budget Magic for this week. That's Rakdos Menace. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.